This presidential race between Kamala Harris and Donald Trump is a living, breathing example of what talented black people, women, and other minorities have to go through when they attempt to rise up to higher levels, particularly when it's in a situation where there's a direct comparison between themselves and an opponent. I watched a town hall on CNN, and this was on the night that was supposed to be the second presidential debate. Donald Trump skipped the debate and wouldn't commit to it. He was offered to have his own town hall or participate in the one with Harris. He declined. But after it was over, I watched the analysis from the reporters. And there was this microscopic critique of what was going on with Kamala Harris and her performance during the town hall. I found it very strange because, on the one hand, they're tearing apart how Kamala Harris answered questions, what she said, did she miss opportunities? And in the midst of it, one of the reporters seemed to realize that Trump didn't show up, didn't participate. So you have this one sided critique going on where basically, like in the debate, Kamala Harris filleted Donald Trump like a fish, removed his spine, and dropped it into a trash can. In most cases, that would have been the end of it with the lackluster performance of Trump, who started talking about immigrants stealing and eating pet dogs and cats in the middle of a presidential debate. So, the way I look at this is Kamala Harris is running circles around Donald Trump. She's doing a Simone Biles routine while Trump is rolling over in the mud for his performance. While Harris is talking about, and they still say, I need to know more about her policies and this and that. So while she's talking about first time home buyer loan assistance, she's talking about programs to help people get businesses off the ground and started. She's talking about going after price gougers as far as businesses are concerned. She's talking about housing, affordable housing. And what has Trump talked about this whole time? He's talked about, of course, the aforementioned migrants eating dogs and cats. He has talked about turning the military against his enemies, his perceived enemies within, which are actually American citizens in some cases, because he actually named some American citizens like Adam Schiff, Nancy Pelosi, people like that. He's talked about the size of a deceased golfer's manhood. Most recently, he threw out this, I don't know if you call it, a little line about is Kamala Harris drinking or on drugs. And it came out that he's talked about in the past to one of his former chiefs of staffs that he wanted generals like Hitler's generals. You know, he called in the past a murdered soldier an effing Mexican. So the critiques of what Harris is doing versus what Trump is doing is so one sided. One person has to be immaculate, or else she risks being an angry black woman, or she risks being an angry black person. And Trump gets to do and say whatever he wants, and is still considered and discussed in the same vein like he is a rational candidate to be president of the United States. So it's really tragic to watch how far over voters, the courts, and the media, how far over backwards they are bending to allow this man to be discussed in the same light as Kamala Harris, who is actually talking about policy and her vision for the country. And he's talking about his penchant for admiring dictators and wanting to go after his enemies with the United States military. That's the real life frustration that many minorities with talent feel as they try to reach their full potential in the United States, because the thing that is holding them back and keeping people from giving them their due has nothing to do with ability. It has something to do with what's deep rooted in the United States. And we just can't seem to shake that internal bias that inherently some are superior to others due to who they are, what they are. And if we don't ever get over that, then we'll never truly become the United States of America, where all men and women are created equal.